Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk to you about Stargirl Season 3 Frenemies, Episode 1, The Murder. So finally, Stargirl is back. And even though this premiere didn't kick off with a huge bang, say the first season, first episode did, it was still pretty good and everything. But I still fear that the CW at some point is gonna CW-fy this show, similar to how they did last season. Because one of the things that bugged me about last season was I liked the character development and stuff like that. That was great. But there really wasn't no action in the second season until halfway through that one episode, the sixth episode, where it was a big action episode, and then of course the finale. I also didn't like all that humor that was infused in the second season. And even though I do like the character development and stuff, it was just too much of it. And because they had only one real villain and side villains and stuff, it just didn't feel as special as season one. Season one will always be my favorite. So I just hope to God I don't see a repeat of season two and everything. And also because the villain was so big and enormous last season, he was almost godlike. It's kind of you should be able to defeat anybody now. That'd be like if Superman defeated Zeus. Well, then he should have no problem defeating Lex Luthor and everything. And so this big season revolves around that of a murder. And it was kind of okay, who's gonna get murdered? And then when one scene happened, I'm just kind of I bet it's that person. And it was. And so it's funny how 3 seasons of this show accumulate to that of basically just 1 year. 1 year of all this excitement for these characters and stuff. It's insane. And so sadly I missed about 3, 4, 5 minutes of this episode because I wish it came on at 8 o'clock and not 7. 7 is when I eat dinner. And so sometimes my food's not done by 7, so I have to try to rush, get the plate set, go and eat. And then so I miss a couple of minutes and when I'm done eating, I have to go rush and do this and do that. And so I always miss a couple of minutes, and that totally sucks. And I know I missed 2 parts of this that but I really don't feel like watching it on the app, so I don't know. So basically, this starts off exactly where last season started left off at, but about a month has passed by because summer's now over and fall is now here and they're ready to go to school. So Courtney and her family, they've been on summer vacation, finally having a good old vacation because they missed it last time because she had to go to summer school and stuff. And so a couple of things have changed with our characters a little bit here and there. Beth, she's getting smothered by her family now. It's funny, the girl who just wanted to be seen is now being seen mostly by her parents, and she don't want to be seen. She wants to go back to being hidden because now they're smothering her and stuff. And it's really funny how all that started because originally she had no friends. Her only friends were her parents. Her parents didn't want nothing to do with her because they had to work. And so she kept bugging the crap out of them. Then in the second season, when she thought they was breaking up, it was all dramatic for her. And now they found out she's a superhero. And now they just want to be a part of her life and butt in and redesign her costume and give her a new name and all this other stuff. And it's just kind of now she sees exactly how she was in season 1. Now the alternate costume and hero name they gave her, I'm not sure if that's a nod to the comics or not. I haven't really researched this character all that much and stuff. It could be, it could be not. That's normally what shows do at Easter eggs, so it probably is. And so that's basically what's going on with her in this episode. Yolanda, is as pissy as ever can be. Why? Because she doesn't like Cindy. And Cindy has now joined the team. And she does not like that, not one bit. And boy, them stares that she gives. That's that Latin stare. Like, who you think you are? And everything. And so she's not too pleased about her joining, and some other people who want to join as well. And so it's gonna at some point, like, put a riffle in their like friendship because she wants nothing to do with Cindy. Cindy is the one who, of course, exposed her like leaked pictures and everything. And it caused her so much embarrassment and it caused her so much pain with her family to where her family still to this day do not trust her and stuff. And it gotta be hard. Like, how can you forgive somebody who did something like that? Not to mention how many times Cindy has tried to kill them and everything. And so it's just kind of like, so this is gonna cause a problem between her and Courtney. Rick is still doing his woe is me over Solomon Grundy thing. But that needs to hurry in. That's getting on my nerves. So he's trying to resurrect the zombie. That shouldn't be too hard, but Solomon Grundy is a very special kind of zombie. So he's tried doing everything he can the way the Shade has told him to, but still he will not be resurrected. And once again, this is some interesting character development with him, some bizarre character development with him. It's like, it's weird. Sometimes it's almost like, because when it comes to solo episodes, like pretty much everybody will get a solo episode, but when it comes to like Rick and Beth, they always combine their solo episodes together. Because they can't come up with nothing for them. But it shouldn't be that freaking hard, man. One's an outcast and one's a hothead. Like, just come up with something. So it started with him in the first season. Him just being a loner, living with his uncle who he hates. Being a grumpy kid. And he finds out about his dad and his mom. So then he just wants to kill Solomon Grundy. When he finally gets the chance, he lets him go. Then the second season, he just feeds him all the time until Solomon Grundy sacrificed his life. And now he's like, woe is me and everything. And it's just kind of like, I don't want to see him mope around the entire season over Solomon Grundy and everything. Like, give this man a story arc. Give him something to do. Give him a love interest. Give him something. You know what I'm saying? Also, how in the world did he fix his powers already? Because his powers are magical and he ain't exactly no wizard and stuff. I'm not even sure actually if he has his full like powers or not. Like, that's part of that part that I missed when I was like running around trying to get my food and stuff like that. So I'll get to the crooks and everything. So Artemis, she wants to join the JSA, which is kind of weird in a way because, she fought them last season, but then all of a sudden she just came around out of the blue and decided to help them and stuff. She's kind of one of those kids who just wants to join a team. Like, she just wants to be part of something. That's what the vibe I always got from her, And so she has her mom ask Courtney's mom, hey, put my kid on your kid's team and everything like that. And the way her mom says it, like, her mom is so robotic and everything. Now, I've seen this actress act in other stuff before. So yes, she can act and everything. But and she doesn't always sound like this. She's just putting on a voice and a tone. Cause her character is very like morbid and wants to kill everything and stuff like that. And stone cold. So she gives that stone cold morbid vibe when she talks, robotic kind of way. And it's funny because I don't know why she would think that Courtney's mom has anything to do with the team and who gets to be on it and stuff. But I guess she's old school and think that the parents are the ones who do everything, And so she basically just tells that's up to Courtney and them. It ain't up to me. And we know those two are going to get into it like this season from the trailer. But of course, her mom doesn't like Huntress because like she tried to kill her in the first season and everything, So it's gonna be hard, which is why this season is called Frenemies and everything. It's kind of like they are your enemies, how and they want to. They all of a sudden, everybody wants to be good now in this show. That's like evil and stuff, and it's just funny because they spent so many years murdering folks. And it's just like it's gonna take time. Like this isn't like comic books that's gonna happen in 40 issues or 40 years. This is like just like in like a blink of an eye, they want to turn good and everything. But basically, her mom does not really want her to join the team. When she says it, it like irritates her. But she tells Courtney's mom that she wants to do it because her daughter wants to, and that's gonna make her daughter happy. So she wants to make her daughter happy. And that's all she ever does. That's why they kill every coach who benches their daughter at the football team because they know her playing football makes her happy. And so when the coach like in first season benched her, they killed him and happy, and stuff. So we get some scenes and everything with that of Pat and that of Sylvester. And these two haven't seen each other since Sylvester kicked the bucket. And now we know he was indeed dead. He literally tells Pat that, or he tells Courtney one, I think it was Pat. He tells Pat, all I remember is waking up from a coffin and digging myself out of a grave and everything. So he did indeed die. But the big question is, who or what resurrected him? So I'm hoping to God they will explain this season, because if not, that's going to be the biggest mystery of them all. Now, it would have been great to see him dig himself from like the grave and everything, but instead he told us and stuff. And it's always better to see that emotion and that struggle than to hear about it. But then we do get to hear some struggles and everything. So he's been staying at their place while they've been gone on their vacation. And he knows the Crooks and the Shade lives across the street from them, but he's never gone over there. And then when he talks to Pat and gets back, he's just kind of like, because we see in the trailer, he ain't happy with this little buddy frenemy thing they got going on. And he even tells them, our enemies are living across the street and blah, 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 and stuff like that. And so him and Pat, they have a good heart-to-heart because they haven't saw each other in a good while. And, he's kind of like out of the loop a little bit, and a lot of stuff has changed. He's no longer the leader of the team, and the staff, even though it still wants to be with him, it wants to be with Courtney as well. And he said, he's only here like to train her. He's not here to like be Starman no more. He's just gonna be Sylvester and everything. And he's very thrilled with what all Pat has like accomplished and since then, with like the stripe suit and like just all kind of stuff, and they want to go for like a ride. But then he goes and gets the staff, and Pat's a little weird about that. Because Pat's kind of like, that's Courtney's staff now. Why are you using it? Well, you gotta remember it was originally his to begin with and stuff. And the staff is a sentient being, so it's gonna come to him and stuff. And so they go on like a flying trip, and that's pretty cool. Some good CGI right there. After that, I missed it. I don't know what happens after that. But at some point, him and Courtney have a heart-to-heart. And she was a little niffed that he made like a trophy case type thing to put the staff in. The staff just went on in there like Sylvester's still the owner. So she's kind of like a little jelly about that. And so like at some point she realizes, you know what? We're just going to like tag in and out. When I'm at school, you get to play with the staff. And then as soon as I get out of school, it's mine. And stuff. And I kind of wish she would have said that with a more angrier voice or stern voice, because the Courtney in the comic books is very much like a hothead and tells you how it is. And Brett, well, I think that's her name. I used to say Burke because of the C at the end, but I went to that Google, like how you say this, and it says Brett. So I guess it's Brett. So anyway, she has that sweetheart, soft voice, so it doesn't come out like all stern and mean and stuff. But he tells her, look, I ain't here to be Starman, all this and that. But then he finally tells her, yeah, he is jealous and everything. Like, he wants to be Starman. He literally came looking for his staff and everything. He just didn't know his staff went and found himself like another owner and everything. And so, but he says plain and simple, he's just gonna train you and everything and make you a better hero than, like what you are now and stuff. And because I think in the comics he trains her and stuff like that. I know in Smallville, that version of Starman and that version of Stargirl, he trained her and everything. And so when it comes to Joel McHale, I've always liked him as an actor. I first saw him on The Soup. He was a host. He was hilarious, but I knew he wasn't an actor. He was just a host. And then, so the second time I saw him was in this Spider-Man 2. And I didn't really like his performance in that. I could see like his rookiness in his acting. But then he landed the role in Community. And he was great in Community. And he's been great in everything else. And he's been great as Starman in the first 2 seasons. But in this episode, I don't know, I felt like his acting was just slightly off. Like he was still trying to do like the comedic thing and having way too many facial expressions than keeping like a more serious face like he has done in the past. So I don't know, it was just a little wonky with his acting this episode, because I felt like he wanted to do the comedy thing, but it just wasn't calling for that. Or maybe he was rusty, who knows, and stuff. Courtney. So Courtney's pretty much just like, okay, I have Cindy here and Yolanda don't like her, the team doesn't like her, and like what do I do and everything. But Courtney, like, she just believes the best in everybody and stuff. And her team even asks, how can you trust all these villains and everything? Honest to God, forget what the world she says, the reason why she trusts them. I think she said because they helped her last season, which they did, you know what I'm saying? So she feels that they want to turn a new leaf. Now, it's not too much of a stretch they want to turn a new leaf, because, even though I said that before, like 40 something years, and then they finally turned a new leaf and everything, I kind of forgot that once they killed the JSA a long time ago, 10 years later, they just took up normal 9-to-5 jobs and they turned into actual good people and stuff. And they really didn't commit no crimes after that. So it's really not that much of a stretch from them, to tell you the truth. And so, but this is going to cause like a problem between like her and the team and everything. And I think it will all work out and everything. So Cindy is the biggest thing, because Cindy thinks everything's lame. And so when they track down some villains of like the gambler, some like henchman type thing, Artemis comes in and just whoops everybody's butt. So there was really no action in this episode except for Artemis whooping everybody's butt. And so she didn't leave no bad guys for them, and they just kind of stood there kind of like, dude, what the world? And stuff. And Cindy's getting bored and just like leaves. And Yolanda, like every time she sits down with them at the cafeteria table, Yolanda just does not want her there and stuff. And then, so to wrap up her and Cindy's storyline, so when the team is investigating this one person who I'm about to get into next, he's dead. And so Cindy is just standing over him with the gun in his hand, and she's all like, I didn't shoot him. And then so it ends and everything. And of course, I don't think she shot him. Just like in the Batman, the time they had the Riddler, not the movie, but the cartoon, his first appearance, he said like the second appearance, he said that normally the most obvious answer is not the right answer in a riddle. So of course it's not gonna be her after turning over a new leaf and everything. And so like, she of course is gonna get framed for it, and now they have to like clear her innocence, which is kind of the stinking plot of Gotham Knights that's about to come out on the CW. So why have 2 murder mystery shows where you have to clear one person's name? I bet you anything they overheard that and they're like, all right, let's just like do this, you know what I'm saying? Let's just copy them. I'm not talking about Stargirl, I'm talking about the Gotham Knights people. They overheard what's gonna happen in Stargirl, so they're like, yo, let's just copy them, man. So when it also comes to Cindy, she's just kind of like, she tells the team, no, I don't want to hang out in this musty garage, and let's go to my place and everything. She offers them wine, because think about it. She lives in the house all by herself, and it's a mansion, and they have the underground layer and stuff. So they might as well make that their base of command and stuff. And so, oh, we get to see Zeke in this, the mechanic dude. And so basically, I don't think nothing happened with him other than us just seeing him. He looks darker. He looked black in this episode. I'm like, did they recast him or something? But no, it's the same dude. Now, as for Mike, whatever the dude's name is with the genie, basically nothing. Like, really just nothing. We got to hear Seth Green's voice and stuff. And, I forgot what the dude sounded like in the second season, but he's just doing his paper route, and that's about it for them and stuff. Now we get to the gambler. He shows up out of nowhere. And not only does he show up out of nowhere, it was his voice narrating the beginning scenes of this episode, talking about that, something, a murder is gonna happen and stuff like that, and it's a mystery to be solved and stuff like that. So I always got suspicious when he said that, but I really just didn't think too much of it. But then it turns out now he wants to be good too. Everybody wants to be good. And so, like, turns out he has a kid and he doesn't, like, I don't know, I think he's looking for her. And he writes her like a note. But he's going to the shade, asks for the shade for help. And the shade is acting kind of weird. The shade doesn't want nothing to do with him. And the shade uses his powers on, oh no, his eyes turn black. And then next thing you know, like some weird shade fog stuff comes from his fingers and green sparks. And I'm just kind of like, what could that mean? What's going on with the shade? He didn't even really notice that he did that, And I'm starting to think, is the dude from last season, is he in the shade? 'Cause think about it. The dude needs darkness to survive and everything. So I don't know. And so basically the gambler went to like Courtney and Pat, I have a kid, I want to turn myself around, and I want to be there for my child and everything. And oh, now I remember what Courtney said. Like they asked, why do you believe the gambler is gonna turn like good? And she's all like, because he wants to do this for his daughter, and like he's a better dad to his daughter. He's never met her, and he's a whole lot better than my father is and stuff. So she's looking at her own past like experiences to like, look through the hearts of like these villains, but you can't always do that, But somebody is like spying on him and they're wearing like a black outfit. So that made me think of the shade. But then I stopped and thought about what Batman said about the Riddler, but the first answer isn't always the right one. But then the shade is acting kind of weird. So after he writes this touching letter to his daughter and everything, he hears a strange noise and he's spying on everybody too. He hacked into the cameras in all these people's houses and like Courtney in the house and stuff. He is super paranoid. And so like he goes outside and something grabs him. So then when the gang goes to see if he was involved with the his henchmen and stuff, we hear a gunshot. Then next thing you know, we see that of Cindy over his body with the gun. They think she did it. So the big question is, who killed the gambler? And not only that, but you gotta stop and think, why should they really even care? Because he's a villain and they're the good guys. But of course, Courtney gotta be Courtney. So, And so, like I said before, it wasn't like, oh wow, Siskumba, like amazing like type episode, but it was still good. It reintroduced us to what's going on with our characters, so that was nice. They really got to up the ante in the next couple of episodes, so I don't want this to be like last season and stuff. And I want to see some more action in every episode, or at least every like 2 episodes like that of the first season. But then I stopped and I forgot completely about something. I started looking at my templates for Stargirl. Mr. Bones, are they gonna like include him in this season or not? He's probably the main bad guy and probably gonna come in later because they teased him at the end of season 2. And I do wonder if we're gonna see the female Green Lantern like we did last season, or is she just gonna be a one-off like Shining Knight, I wonder. And so like they probably can't have her because, budget and everything like that. But yeah, I wonder if Mr. Bones is going to show up or not. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.